What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Herb G back at you again with another video, and today I want to just say Happy New Year. It's the first Monday of the year, and if you guys don't know, Bitcoin was created on January 3rd, 2009. So it's going to be about officially 14 years tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure eventually we're going to have that day be coined as Bitcoin Day, maybe someday in the future. But anyway, today's video, I'm going to show you guys the Bitcoin white paper. You could just think of this as the manual for Bitcoin. So I would be remiss if I didn't actually go over this paper with you guys and having all these videos talking about Bitcoin. And I'm not even talking about, the soul of what Bitcoin comes from and what Satoshi Nakamoto wanted to give to the world. So without further ado, here we are in Google. All you have to do is put in Bitcoin white paper and it comes right up. There we go. And here we are. So I'm not going to go through all the pages and I'm not going to read it to you. That I feel like that would be boring and people will definitely click off this video if they haven't clicked off already. But I'm just going to go over through it page by summary. So I'll just give you my notes on each page and then we'll go from there. So on page 1, with the introduction and everything, basically it's saying that there's no third party. As you guys know, Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer protocol. So it's just me and you. If you want to send me some Bitcoin, send me some Bitcoin. If I wanted to just send you Bitcoin, I'll just send you Bitcoin. I don't have to ask nobody. I don't have to tell nobody. And that's the beauty of decentralization. Also, don't trust, verify. That's a term that we hear very often in the crypto community. If you're new here, it just means that don't trust anybody to say, hey, yeah, I sent the money to you or I sent the Bitcoin to you. You could actually go onto the Bitcoin network and literally find out, what transaction is coming to your wallet. I mean, I know that's getting a little deep, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up that your transaction is something that you can verify because Bitcoin is an open source code, open source kind of network. So you don't need a password or you don't need any type of status to get into it. You can see it on the blockchain. But like I said, that's a little advanced for people who don't know anything about crypto, and that's not necessarily something that you actually need to, learn in order to invest in Bitcoin or in order to be into Bitcoin. I'm just explaining what's in the white paper. On page 2, so the only way to confirm the absence of a transaction is to be aware of all transactions. This is how crypto works and prevents fraud. So this is all cryptography. So, if you're using the internet, you're using cryptography. That little padlock on the left inside of your web browser, that's using a form of cryptography where some other person can't come into your network, can't see your computer unless they, have some advanced type technology. But it's really all protected by cryptography. And that's how we get away from fraud. That's how we're stopping the fraud. We use hashes to verify transactions and use timestamps to show the proof of work publicly through all nodes, otherwise known as computers. So you could just think about it as when you send a text, the time is always sent with the text. You can always see what time that you send a text or what time somebody sent you a text. It's the same thing on the blockchain. They timestamp it and they hash it with a fingerprint. It's just a digital fingerprint that we don't need to know. It's just, it's very advanced, and I'm not giving you a lesson on the technology. I'm just giving you lessons on functionality of Bitcoin. So on page 3, it just goes over the proof of work. And proof of work just means one computer, one vote. So like there's multiple computers that make up Bitcoin. That's what we call a supercomputer. So everybody's working together, and it's not even specific people, but it's just computers that keep track of Bitcoin transactions and computers that are actually help mine the Bitcoin. So that's all it means when it comes to proof of work. We can actually see the work being done through the blockchain. Now on page 4, like I said, with these computers that are called nodes, we get our coins from the nodes. And they have incentive to help us get our coins because with each block mined, nodes receive Bitcoin. So this year, in the year 2022, 2023, there's only 6.25 Bitcoins that can be mined at a time. So when it first started, it was 50 in 2009, 2013, it was 25, 2017, 12.5, and now 2022, 2023, 6.25. So that's all that means. That's all that it is on page 4. Just going over the mining process and what it takes to make Bitcoins. So that's one key thing that I love about Bitcoin. And I'm not going to go into detail, but just know it's inflation proof. On page 5, there's never a need to extract and complete standalone copy of a transaction's history because every block on Bitcoin's blockchain has the hash, timestamp, and transaction history on the current block. You see what I'm saying? So if I were to pay you Bitcoin today, and then tomorrow I would pay you again, right? So on tomorrow's block, I will see that I paid you yesterday on the same block, and you can see it too. And finally, guys, page 6 and 7 is going over the keys and the wallets and having a wallet. Not your keys, not your coins. If you guys don't know who Andreas Antonopoulos is, I would suggest that you guys take a look at him. Check him out on YouTube. He's an author, Mastering Bitcoin. He wrote for us. I mean, it's very technical. I haven't read the book, but I know he said that it's very technical and that it goes over in detail. If you want to know more and know, the ins and outs and the nuts and bolts of Bitcoin, definitely check that out. And then also The Internet of Money is another book that he wrote for Bitcoin that you could definitely check out. But as an additional firewall, a new key is created every time you make a new transaction. So that's another great feature of wallets and public keys versus private keys. So you shouldn't have to worry about somebody stealing your keys unless you give them your key. That's all. If you get a wallet service, there's a ton of them out there. I use Ledger. There's Trezor. Once you get one, you'll have your own public key and private key. Copy all your passwords. Make sure you have them on hand. Make sure you can remember them, and you'll be fine. Last but not least, the 8 and 9 pages is just very like mathematical quotations and everything. So you don't even have to worry about that. I'm not even going to go over that. And then the 9th page is just the references. So that's about it, guys. I hope you guys was able to learn just a little bit. If you guys have time, check out the documentary of The Trust Machine on Netflix, and that will definitely get you started with the technology and what's behind all this cryptocurrency. All right, guys, I will see you guys on the next video. Happy New Year. And remember, Bitcoin is the future. You might as well make it a present.